you finally have a day where you just had enough, and you know that there's more to life, and you just are sick of the same old status quo bullshit. Whether it's, it's not even about money. It's about being fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? It's about having something to live for. It's about not drinking everything away and not eating everything away. I used to do these same things. So that's why I get on here and I get excited. And I'm trying to shake you up. I'm trying to get you to watch the video so you can hear the message. So I was thinking this morning, I said, it's Monday. I'm already overwhelmed like most of us. I'm doing my mental exercises, but I'm still a little overwhelmed. I'm thinking of, man, I got to, all the things I have to do today. My favorite thing is I have to go downtown and pay the property tax today and handle some other things there. I have to go downtown, which is my favorite, and see their beautiful castle, old world buildings so that they can take my money. That's always fun. But besides that, I'm thinking of, I got to go and do that, which is fine. I have work lined up at my mother's house, which is fun and fine. But because we're in Buffalo, everything is so like, it was 48 degrees last night or 45 degrees last night. Man, what is it? June 2nd. So yeah, you got to kind of pack it in and be creative. Nothing new here, but stuff starts to kind of pile up sometimes. Same thing with our minds. Things pile up. Same thing with weight gain. Those are the biggest things I focus on because that's what affects everybody. A clear head and being physically fit. Those are like, it goes hand in hand. And to me, that's the easy stuff. And it doesn't take a lot. I used to think, for those of you new to the channel, obviously you see the Randy Rhoads thing here. I'm a guitar player, I'm a professional musician for, since I was probably what, 18, 19. Professional, people can twist the term of that, but it's my thing. It's my main passion in life. But I used to always think, man, I could never imagine doing a gig without being drunk. You got to party, right? Like Eddie Van Halen and Poison and Motley Crue and Led Zeppelin, right? I always thought, like, man, how could you do a show sober? Like, that's no fun. And then once you've lived enough life, and then it just becomes boring, and then it starts to become a problem. And then I would prepare my alcohol almost as much as I'd prepare my gear for the gigs. Make sure I have, because we played a lot. So if I had like 2-3 days in a row, I would go to the liquor store and say, okay, I'm gonna need a big bottle of this. Go to the beer store. I need a case of this beer. I want a 6-pack of this though, because I'd map it out, and I'd always feel like shit the next morning. And what did I do the next gig that night? Drink even more, and on and on and on. So once I cut the chain and I stopped, and then I quit. I walked away from this stuff probably about 3 years ago. I quit the band. I was just so fed up with everything. I was on a hamster wheel. And then you look at me and say, wow, well, you're playing guitar, you're making nice money, you got a good day job, you met Rachel, everything's going great. And it was, things could have definitely been worse. My health's in good shape after especially after 3 major heart surgeries in life. I'm so lucky to be here. But inside, I was just miserable, and I knew there was more. And I seen it at one show. I was on stage, and I'm looking at the band leader he was tough. I don't want to pass blame. They're still doing great. The band is still doing great. I got a couple close friends in that band. Anyways, well, close. I don't talk to anybody anymore. But that machine is still rolling. But I finally seen it one night. You got to see things for yourself. I'm hoping that maybe I'm just an inspiration or just like a little tipping point where if you're on that edge and you just happen to see my video and I happen to speak to you and speak to your soul, and you could say, man, yeah, Jay, I have finally had enough, like you too. Yes, me too. So that's why I'm on here. And I was getting part of my overwhelm this morning. I was thinking of all the things I have to do. I have some things to list on eBay. I have a bunch of songs to learn because I have some gigs coming up this summer. And of course, I procrastinated. Every time I go to practice songs, I practice other things, technique and other things I'm working on. So I got to learn a bunch of songs. I got to go pay my taxes. I got to go and do some work at my mom's house today. And of course, I got to make sure I do the videos. So I'm thinking about, man, maybe I could do the videos first. And then I'm just talking in my own head. And I'm thinking, well, you got to get the lights right. You should take a shower. What shirt do you want to wear? So I said, you know what? F all that. F all that. So I poured some coffee like usual. You know, that's true. Hit the coffee rolling, fix my hair good enough, wash my face, this and that. Just simple. And I just got the old tripod and put it right here. Plunked it right in the living room. Cleaned up a little bit, nothing too much, but this is my living room. This is where I ponder. This is where I overthink. That's the honest truth. Don't overthink. But getting back to the original, or one of the original ideas, I forgot where I started here. I get nuts and crazy and excited because I really do care. I care about you, the stranger who I've never met, because I've been desperate too and just looking for answers and lost. And I've come on YouTube, and I know it sounds silly because the internet and technology, it's a double edged sword. You have to have my favorite word, you got to have discernment and kind of realize, you know, who's full of shit and who's not. And you know it in your gut. You just know if someone's telling you something good and it connects with you, like it's hard to fake that. Although it can be manipulated, as we've seen with some of these crazy Christian churches with all their like what's his name, like Joel Osteen. I'm talking about manipulation. I'm talking about just somebody grabbing a mic like this and just sharing their experience and hoping that sharing that will help someone out there. Because it's hit me. There's so many times I couldn't believe it where you see the right video at the right time. And I'm sure there's a lot of videos that might connect that way, but who cares where you get the inspiration from? Who cares, if they're qualified or have degrees or have a certain amount of subscribers? We're all people and we're all living in the same realm. So we can all help each other. Obviously, we can all help each other. So I was thinking, man, you know what, Jay, you got to tone down and not scare people off because I lost a subscriber, I think, because I think I may have rubbed someone the wrong way. And I want the right people to follow me. And I understand not everyone's going to like me. I get it. It's fine. I'm fine with that. That's the beautiful part of life. But I think delivering the message, you could scare off some people who maybe might take that message just by not having a great delivery. So I was thinking, well, what do you do then? You can't shake people. You can't scream in their face only for so long. And then, that gets old too. So I was thinking, what do I do? What do I try to do? The only thing you can do, the best way to get through to people, the unhealthy people around you, and while helping yourself, is by being the example. Live the example, and people will watch you and see how what you do in your processes are helping you live a great life. They're going to want to do the same thing. People always want to copy each other. You get a new car, but oh man, you know what? Maybe I am up for one. Maybe I'll get one. Maybe I'll get the better one then. It's whether it's that or you could twist it from material bullshit to, wow, didn't Bob have knee surgery a year ago? He looks great. Like, oh, he's got a knee brace on. You see him, well, yeah, every morning he's out there jogging. Every morning he's out there working out. You're like, damn, man, I can do that too. Shoot, what's my excuse? My knees are fine, or what? Be an example that way. I'm hoping I'm the example where I have this giant pacemaker sticking out of my chest, and I'm still working out. I'm still doing push-ups. I'm still going on walks. I'm eating great. Start your day with something simple. That's why I brought this here. I forgot I had this here. Start with oats. It's literally 1 minute. You don't have 1 minute to make oats and in 1 minute prep. Oh, I don't like oats. I will put fruit in it. Stop eating like every meal has to be. See, there I go again. Stop eating like every meal has to be this delicious, amazing experience. If it's a little plain, you could put a little bit of sugar in it, a little bit, but just get it in you. Think of like how a bird would eat, or a deer, or a bear in the woods. They just eat. They eat for fuel. They eat for function. Start eating for function. Or maybe pick one time a day where we say, okay, dinner, I'm going to have a little bit something fun, because we all want to have something fun. Even myself, I get it. But when every meal is, it's the instant oatmeal with, two packets with the, all this sugar in it and bullshit. No, like just have a cup of this. Actually, I do half a cup and half a cup of water, usually a little bit more. And throw some strawberries in there, berries. There's your morning. Have nice coffee, and now you started the day winning. So start doing that in your household. Start doing that at work, and then watch people around you are going to start asking questions. Oh, what do you got there? What kind of oats you got? And just tell them. Be nice about it. Oh yeah, 1 minute. I like these. These are easy to use. They're much better than the packaged stuff. Wait, don't get anything packaged. Don't. I used to do that too because it's easy. What's easier than 1 minute? Or if you got to take it in a baggie to work and you can boil it in the microwave, it's not. It's super easy. 2 minutes. So I lied with the 1 minute. It's actually 2 minutes on high in the microwave. And a minute prep, big deal. But be the example. Eat the oats in front, and then people will start to follow you. Yesterday was kind of a scattered day, and when Rachel came over, I didn't fully finish working out. So fast forward like an hour later, we're just kind of chilling here in the living room, and I just grabbed the weights and I started finishing my flies. And she was sitting here watching something. Then after a while, I could see that she was looking at me, and I'm not used to working out in front of anybody, but it actually made me like, when someone's watching you, you got to have the pressure. It kind of gives you a little bit of a mental push, and it did. But I could tell she was watching, and because she's on the verge, I could tell she wants to start working out too. But I don't want to push anything. Let these things. People will do things when they want to and when they're inspired to. I mean, you give them a little nudge, but when you're barking at people all the time, it just your voice gets lost. I don't want to hear that either. Nobody wants to hear that, right? So that's nobody wants to hear that. So try to be just the example. Don't be always, a know-it-all and act like I'm still figuring stuff out. I'm still trying to figure out how to quit this stupid vape. It's so embarrassing, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite and hide this from you. It's something I'm working on. It's probably the last little vice I have. So be the example. That's what my point is today. Be the example. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't need the nice studio with the colored lights and my hair perfect and a funny t-shirt. It's about the message, right? Oh, I hate saying right. It's so dumb. That's one of my pet peeves. Everybody says something and then right. Why do we all start doing that? So it's about the message. Period. It's about the message. It's about the quality of the message. It doesn't have to be dressed up. So I'm going against the grain today on a Monday. We're going no filter with no fancy lights, no fancy background, because what's important is the message. So be the example. You'll be the loudest in the room if you're just an example. And while you're being the example, you're being healthy yourself. If you're exercising and you're being an example, then you're healthy and you're covering your bases. So while you're doing that, while you're inspiring others, you're hooking up yourself, and you're being your healthiest self. So I might see you later. We'll see. But hang in there, be the example. Know that we're all in this together and we all have vices and shortcomings, but let's help each other out and pull each other up, right? Okay. Okay. So on this glorious Monday, be the example and think of that. Think of being an example every time, you want to tell somebody what to do. All right.